Here's an idea. You got questions? We have answers. So 2 weeks ago, we asked you guys to ask us some questions to find out what you wanted to know about Idea Channel, and now I'm gonna answer those questions. So here we go. Teddy from Sweden wants to know where the ideas that make up Idea Channel come from. I really wish that there was a more interesting answer to this question. I try to read a lot. I read maybe a book a week, if not more, and I try to watch and listen to and read as much as I possibly can. You guys give me tons of awesome suggestions of stuff to check out, so that makes sure that I never have any free time in my entire life. And then once I've kind of loaded all of these thoughts and media and everything into my brain, I kind of just, I don't know, sit down and think. The secret of inspiration, I think, is not waiting for it to strike, but knowing how to strike out at it yourself. And so I've just learned over years of doing this kind of work and writing what kind of situation I have to put myself in order to generate the kind of material that I like. And it's just, I mean, not everything is good. Like, I make lots and lots of bad stuff, lots of bad ideas, but you know, if you just generate and generate and generate, a certain percentage of it will be good, and then it's a matter of pulling those things out and taking them to the next level. Gecko4 wants to know whether or not PBS Digital Studios has approval over the episodes, and if so, what that process is like. I mean, our relationship with PBS Digital Studios is awesome and like really open and collaborative, and we talk to them about ideas and scripts, and they see edits of the videos and give us their thoughts. So in a sense, yeah, they have approval, but they're not telling us what to make or telling us not to do certain things. Everything you see on the show is purely Idea Channel team in collaboration with Digital Studios. So it's a great deal. We work with PBS for a reason. It's great. Luke and Jackie want to know whether or not there have been episodes that we have had to shelve after looking into them. And I think really there's only ever been one, and it was gonna be an episode about Hetalia, the manga and anime. And I had a hard time getting into it. I couldn't find something to contribute to the conversation about it. And that's not a value judgment on Hetalia at all. That's a value judgment on me just not being able to figure out what it was that I could really grab onto in Hetalia. Wish wants to know how I came to be involved with Idea Channel. It's a little bit of a long story. Some friends of mine and I, my friends Patrick and Steven, we had a show called Meme Factory, which is like a performative lecture thing about internet culture. That led me and Patrick to write, host, and produce for Know Your Meme. And then that was our first kind of big internet video gig. After that, Meme Factory actually got invited to be on a PBS Digital Studios show called Off Book as guests talking about internet culture. And once we were on that, Lauren from PBS Digital Studios, which is the awesome internet-only media creation wing of PBS that we are a part of, saw that, went and saw some of the things that I made for Know Your Meme, and called me and said, hey, I'm working with these guys, Andrew Kornhaber and Eric Brown, to develop a show. They were working on another thing, and she asked whether or not I would be interested in doing that as well. And it turns out that, you know, Eric and Andrew and I were old friends from Know Your Meme days, and we joined forces. So I guess, long story short, PBS Digital Studios reached out to me, and then I worked with them and Kornhaber Brown to develop Idea Channel. Griffin and Casey want to know what fandoms me and the rest of the crew are a part of and what other things we love. I think I would consider myself a huge Welcome to Night Vale fan and definitely a Whovian. I am also a massive Douglas Adams devotee and a huge cyberpunk nerd, and I play lots of tabletop role-playing games. I just started running a Shadowrun game that I'm very excited about. As far as picking favorites, I am terrible at picking favorites, but if I had to, and I would probably change my mind tomorrow, I think my favorite movie would be In the Mood for Love. My favorite TV show would be the Venture Brothers, game Super Metroid, and record probably Emergency and I by the Dismemberment Plan. So for the crew, Andrew is a huge Futurama fan. He has an encyclopedic knowledge, as does Morgan of Arrested Development, and he doesn't want to call himself a Sherlockian, but I think he secretly is. He also is a huge bike nerd. Shadow Brony wants to know if I read every comment on every video, and I haven't been as good at this recently, but generally I read every comment left on a video up until the day before a new video comes out. And yeah, I mean, it's hard, it takes a very long time, but I learn a lot, and I get to see what you guys think of the episodes, which helps us make future episodes. So it's a hugely important part of the show, and I think it influences the way that we put Idea Channel together a lot. As far as choosing what's best, I mean, I like people who challenge the ideas in the show in an intelligent way, people who have really great conversations with one another, people who have really well-reasoned arguments, and most importantly, people who don't just repeat things that are in the episode. Like, additional information is really key. Also, pro tip, if you swear, we're not gonna feature your comment. Don't swear. What are you doing? It's a family show. Stephen Chapman wants to know how long it takes to put together an episode. So here's the weekly schedule. So on Monday, I'll spend all day writing, and then I'll spend the first half of Tuesday writing, and then the second half of Tuesday shooting. And usually how that works is we'll shoot responses to the last week's video, so comments, and then the video that comes out the next week. And then Wednesday through Monday, the editors are working on pulling together assets and putting a cut together, while Ben works on the motion graphics. And while they're doing that, I am researching for the next topic or set of topics. Research can sometimes take a day. If I'll feel really comfortable after that, and then I'll go for it. But sometimes it can take a lot longer. It can take sometimes like a week, sometimes a month. And I'm occasionally researching upwards of, I don't know, like could be 2, 3, but maybe 5 episodes at the same time. I think the longest I've ever spent researching something was about a month, and that was for the Is Math Real episode. That was, yeah, hours at the library, but totally worth it. Lots of fun. Red Hopper wants to know what the writing process is like and how the asset gathering process works. So I will write an outline for every episode, and then me and Andrew, the producer, will take a look at it and talk through it. He's got a background in anthropology, so he is a huge resource, making sure I have covered all my bases, bringing additional expertise into the episodes. And then after we've agreed on an outline and fleshed it out, I will write a script over the course of 2 days, and then we'll take a look at it again. And that's when we bring Morgan in to get like a fresh outside perspective, someone who hasn't been there building the ideas from the beginning, and then we'll go in and shoot. And then the way the asset gathering works is, I mean, I will sometimes add some notes saying like, you know, like, I think this would be a great image here, but mostly it's Morgan, Andrew, and the editors pulling in things from, you know, their expertise, from their knowledge of culture, which is awesome because I think it makes it like another character. It's not all me making the decisions, and I think that's one of the things that makes Idea Channel what it is, that it's clearly a labor of several different people working together towards this one thing. So yeah, no, I don't gather most of the assets. Volfor Dragoon wants to know if there are topics that we haven't talked about but want to, and the answer is yes. There are so many. The Avatar, the NSA, Harry Potter, The Wire, Pokemon. There are tons of reasons that we haven't gotten around to doing those things, but mostly it's because these are things that have had so much written about them, and we really like to bring something new to the conversation. So it's tough for us to figure out what point of view, what connection, what idea is in there that hasn't yet been, you know, sort of overdone. So Decamal asks whether or not you can meet the Idea Channel team and what their role in the team is, and the answer is yes, of course. So first there's Morgan, who is the director, and I think he is also the looks. And then there's Andrew, who is the producer, and he is the brawn. Yeah, which way's the gun show? Our wild card is clearly Ben, our motion graphics guy who lives in Portland, and you'd think that that would leave me as the brains, but I think it's all of us collectively. I might be like the sullen, moody one. Derek the Human asks about the most rewarding experience I've had since making Idea Channel. This is a very hard question to answer. The last 2 VidCons have been amazing, not only because I got to meet a lot of you guys, but because I got to meet so many of the YouTubers that I love and look up to. Visiting Mr. Monfrey's class was also just unbelievable. I'm not even gonna bother saying anything about it. It was like, it's beyond words. But beyond that, and this is gonna come across as really sappy, but I'm gonna try to be as sincere as possible. Like literally every day, you know, we just crossed 400,000 subscribers, which is a mind-bogglingly huge number that I never expected we would get to. I get to talk to interesting and amazing people on the internet every day. We have the best comment section in all of YouTube. You guys have such great ideas and reactions to the stuff we talk about. I get to spend such a huge portion of my life doing things that I am so interested in and so engaged with and in love with, and I get to do that because of you guys. I get to do that because you are supportive and like having these weird, sometimes silly seeming, but ultimately I think really important conversations with us. So yeah, every day is a party in Idea Channel land. Thank you. And with that Sapfest, I think that we have answered a fair number of questions. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions and to everybody who voted on those questions. Remember, you can always reach out and ask me whatever you want on the IRC, on Twitter, on Tumblr. I love talking to you guys, and I love it when you reach out and say, hey, so, you know, please do so. And we'll be back next week with a full Idea Channel episode. So until then, I'll see you on the internet. So after editing this video together, we realized that we had over 20 minutes of material. So what you just watched were the most requested questions. If you want to see the video where I answer a lot more questions, you can do so right here. We'll put a link up somewhere to the other video. Don't feel required, but you know, it's here if you want it. And thanks for asking all those questions. They were awesome.